Violin or fiddle? What's the difference? Well, the answer, there is no difference, except in the style they're played. Well, a violin tends to be seen in more classical music. A fiddle is seen in a much more wide variety of genres, such as Cajun and country. What on earth are you doing? I don't know.
Does that mean the devil went down to Georgia and for a violin?
Yeah, I guess. That is a fingerprint, which humans have, but every other animal doesn't. They have paw prints, or at least that's what you think. Koalas actually have fingerprints that are completely indistinguishable from human fingerprints, to the point that computers and AI can't even tell them apart. There was once a series of robberies where things were stolen in Australia, and these fingerprints at the crime scenes matched to nobody in the database, but they were all the same. And then it was revealed it was a koala that had stolen all those things. Crazy, right? You don't have fingerprints. You have little toe beans. Subscribe.
I'll give you a hint. I was the koala.
If you've ever been to a grocery store before, you've definitely used one of those separators at checkout to keep your groceries separate from the next person's. But what is that separator actually called? Well, it's actually called a spratchet, which comes from the word scratch, meaning to separate. What are you doing?
I'm a spratchet.
Subscribe.
Hi.
Every animal farts, even the ones that are underwater. And when an animal is underwater and it farts, it makes a bubble. And all those bubbles are different sizes. But what size is the biggest animal? A whale's fart bubble? Well, when a whale farts, the bubble it makes is actually big enough to fit a Volkswagen inside it. That's right, your entire family could fit inside a whale's fart. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. Help me, I can't stop. I can't stop!
Wait, what was the fact again? I couldn't hear you because you were just screaming, I can't stop.
When you shuffle a deck of cards, the order is completely random. But did you know there are actually so many possible random orders that there are more possibilities when you shuffle a deck of cards than there are atoms on Earth? That's so many possibilities that if you were to shuffle a card into a new pattern once a second since the Big Bang, you wouldn't even be 1% of the way through all of them today. Not even close to 1% of them. Every time you shuffle a deck of cards, that order is completely new. Subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.
Finally, I found my spot, but the video's over! Dang it.
When a caterpillar turns into a butterfly inside its chrysalis, you might think that it just shrinks a little and then grows wings and legs. But actually, that's not what happens. While it's inside the chrysalis going through metamorphosis, it turns into caterpillar soup goo. It's just goo. And then it completely reforms into a butterfly. However, there is one part that remains while it's goo, and that's its central nervous system. And that's why it can remember specific things it learned, such as a specific sound, meaning it's time to be fed. Subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.
Please help me. I didn't